So obviously we know, unfortunately, anyone who heard the terrible, tragic news over Shabbat, that I'm sure at this point already everyone got word of. So we will dedicate this class. We'll dedicate this class to. Can't lower the volume. You go like this. So we're going to dedicate the class. Unfortunately, we're going to dedicate the class to the Nishmat of the mother and her two daughters. And Lavdil Me'avdalot, to differentiate a million times. Refuah Shlema for the son. Elun Nishmat Sarah Bat Devora Shahin. Elun Nishmat Dina Bracha Bat Sarah. Aliyah Shalom. Devora Mazal Bat Sarah. Aliyah Shalom. And Lavdil Me'avdalot, Refuah Shlema Pinchas Rafael Ben Sarah. At the Shem, every word we'll say will be the Elun Nishmatam and Lavdil Me'avdalot Refuatam. And we're going to get into the class. Obviously, we know this last week on Shabbat, Motzei Shabbat, we had Rosh Chodesh Nisan. We came into the holy month of Nisan. Now that was this Motzei Shabbat, this last week on Saturday, Saturday night and Sunday, we came into Nisan. Now, the Torah tells us that in the month of Nisan, the first month of the first day of the first month of the year, the Mishkan was erected. The Mishkan, the holy tabernacle that was in the Egypt, was erected. On which day? On the first of Nisan. And therefore, Shulchan Aruch, Maran, Arav Yosef Karo, Posek La'alacha, in the halachot of Pesach, he brings down that all of these days, 30 days of this month, we don't do any tachanun. The whole month we don't do tachanun. We don't do any vidui, we don't do any confessions, we don't do any fasts, we don't do any eulogies, we don't do anything like this in this whole month because this whole month has a status of happiness. It's a month that has a status of happiness. And therefore we have to treat the month accordingly. The question becomes, why does the whole month have this? We have very rarely seen such a concept that a whole month has the status of happiness, of a holiday of happiness. So really we have to see how it breaks down. There's an explanation of why every single day of this month we don't do tachanun. You look at the Mishnah Berurah over there, he explains to us, that when was the Mishkan erected? On the first of Nisan. And therefore, what happened then? Then they did Chanukat HaMizbeach, which basically means every tribe came and brought their sacrifice to inaugurate. You know, when you have a new house, you move into a new apartment, you move into a new house, what do? Something called Chanukat HaBayit. What's Chanukat HaBayit? You invite people over, you bring in the new house. When the Mishkan was built, they brought in the new Mishkan. And every tribe wanted to come and bring their own korban, their own sacrifice. And every single one of them came and brought their sacrifice to the altar. And every day a different tribe. How many tribes are there in the Jewish nation? 12. So how many days do we have of holidays? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that covers 12 days of the month, the first days of the month. The 13th day is a concept called Isur Chag, which is the day after the holiday that drags the sanctity of the day. The 14 days already Erev Pesach. The 15 days Pesach, we have 7 days of Pesach in Eretz Yisrael. Over here in America we have 8. And then we have Isur Chag. We got to 22, 23 days in the month. But what about the end of the month? How come we continue not saying Tachanun? And on this, the Bet Yosef says, we go after the majority. Since the majority of the month we don't say, the rest of the month we don't say. Since the majority of the month has the status of happiness, so we also continue the rest of the month. However, Chazon Ovadia, he brings down a different answer. He brings down from one of the Rabbanim, it's brought down in the Chidah, that really it's a celebration of what was, what is, and what will be. The first 12 days we celebrate what was. That when we came out of Egypt, we built a tabernacle and every single tribe came and brought its sacrifice, that's 12 days. After that we have Pesach, which is what is. We have a holiday that we're dealing with right now. And what's going to be after? He explains beautifully. Our sages teach us, Benisan nigalnu, uBenisan atidin ligael. The Jewish nation were redeemed in the month of Nisan, and we were redeemed again in the month of Nisan. On which day? Specifically, when will God redeem us from this exile? On Pesach itself, on the holiday. But we have a concept in Judaism. What is the concept we have in Judaism? We don't mix happiness with happiness. What does it mean? In the middle of celebrating one happiness, we're not going to come down and celebrate other happiness. I like to always give an example of what that's like. Imagine a person now getting married. A lot of the goyim like to do this. They get married, and all of a sudden, the day of the wedding, the friend is like, oh, you know what? It's a great opportunity to propose now. So he proposes on the day of the other person's wedding. He tells him, hello, today's my day. What do you actually taking all my magic? Excuse me? You know what I'm saying? Guy comes down in the middle of his wedding, he's taking all his magic. So Klal in Judaism, we do not celebrate holiday with holiday. So therefore, the Chanukah Bet HaMikdash, the celebration that we're going to do for Bet HaMikdash, is going to be pushed off to the later days, which is the end of the month. B'mira b'yameinu, better in our days. Now, why am I saying this? Because first things first is the chizuk shebo. We have a lot of inspiration that comes from that, and that we always have to be sho'ef and yonek to what the Gemara Masechet Shabbat says. One of the questions they're going to ask you when you get after 120 is Tipita LaGeula. Did you yearn for the redemption? Did you want Hashem to come? Did you want Hashem to come? You know, whether we like it or not, we get very comfortable over here in America and in the place that we live. But the reality is, one time my brother came over here, he said, America is the same word as America. America, America, Amrik. America, America. An empty nation. And the reality is we get comfortable with our lifestyles over here. We get comfortable with the basketball leagues on Tuesdays. We get comfortable with the Sundays fantasy football. Everyone has their own minhagim and their own customs. Thursday night shiurim, of course. That's for shalom, we're not anywhere else on Thursday night. Right? No, wedding, birthday party. Rabbi have a basketball league, Rabbi this, Rabbi that. So you have your seder, and we get comfortable. But Hashem says we should never forget that we are in exile. And we do see what the result of it is. We do see what the result of it is. We see what's going on outside in the world. We see anti-Semitism. We see hatred. A guy walked up to me today without mentioning names. I'm walking back from my car. Guy walks up to me as I'm literally walking out of shul from Mincha. A guy runs up to me, jumps off the bus. Rabbi, I just got beat up on the train. I'm not joking around right now. Today, I promise you. I was 2 hours ago. Rabbi, I just got beat up on the train. So, Mama, where are we living? Where are we living? We get comfortable. We get comfortable and we forget that when Hashem comes, when Hashem finally comes back and redeems himself, what's going to happen? Then the whole world is going to know exactly who we are. Then the whole world is going to know, this nation, you don't mess with them. This nation, you have to praise them. And then they're going to come and they're going to praise us and they're going to come and we're not going to have to deal with this stuff anymore. Obviously. Aval, this is a little bit of a side tangent, but we should always focus in on this concept and understand it. Now, another thing I wanted to focus in on. Our sages teach, the poskim say, that it's a good minhag, it's a custom, it's a nice custom, that on these days, a person should read every day the sacrifice that was on that day. The Nasi, the tribal chieftain brought on that day. Every day we read according to what was brought on that day. The first day is obviously the longest. The longest. The one take you about 30, 45 minutes. Anyone who did it, he knows. But if you look into the words over there, you find something very interesting. You look into it, you're reading psukim from the Torah, chapters from the Torah, and it says, and the Jewish nation did according to what Hashem commanded them. And then it says, and then details out all the process that Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, how to erect the Mishkan, how to build it, what's the service, what he has to do. And then the Torah seemingly says something very interesting. It says, and Moshe did according to what Hashem told him to do. And then it lists every step along the way, and at the end of every single step it says, and Moshe did according to Hashem said. Again. And Hashem did, Moshe did what Hashem said. And Moshe did what Hashem said. And Moshe did, okay, we got it. Tell us. Why do you keep on telling us that? And also, more than that, what's such a praise? That Moshe Rabbeinu did what Hashem said. Imagine you go to work, you have a quota at work, right? Because I want you to make 200 calls. So at the end of the day, you make 200 calls. That's it. You did your quota. What's your boss going to tell you? Look, I don't feel the energy. I want you to go a little bit above and beyond. I need to see the hunger. You're satisfactory. You're doing enough. You go to school. How much is the pass? 65. You ever seen a teacher write on a test 65? Wow, amazing. Guy comes home 65. The parents are going to beat him up. Takes out the shahata. I passed, man. The guys are already like, what's the bare minimum I have to do to pass this class? 65 he comes home with, and he's like, okay. Kosh Bachu said that Moshe Rabbeinu did exactly what I told him to do. So what's the shebach over here? He just passed, satisfactory. However, it's a very, very important concept you have to understand when it comes to Judaism, which is Hashem created and commanded us everything perfectly. Not to add, not to take away. It's something called Bal Tosif. Don't add. And if you're going to add, you're going to stumble. Hashem gave you exactly the way things are supposed to be done. And when people begin to add, that's when the problems arise. Oh, Rabbi, you guys are fanatics. Wait. Who told you they were fanatics? What's the law? Did he tell you something that he heard from somebody else? It's not even true. You can't pick your nose on Shabbat. Who told you this thing? I don't know. Where'd you get this from? You heard this from Hobo on the corner? No. And people come and they say, you're not allowed to add. Where do we see this first time in history that a person added something? Adam HaRishon. The first Adam, God tells him, don't eat from the tree. What does he tell his wife? Don't touch it. Hello, what did Hashem say? Don't eat. What does Adam say? Don't touch. Hello, Siyag b'Torah. I have to make a safeguard. If she's going to touch, you're going to eat, you know. For me, I could hear don't eat, I'm good. For my wife, don't touch. So what does the Nachash hear? The snake, the Yetzer Hara, he hears, oh, don't touch. What did Hashem say? So what does he do? What does the Midrash relate? He pushed her. She fell on the tree. He says, you see, you're okay. You can eat from the tree also. And she ate. And she said, if I'm going down, he's going down with me. Ella, come here quickly, eat this apple. And that's it. That was the end of us. And now we're here today. And we see where did it all start with. If Adam HaRishon would have just told her, don't eat, exactly what Hashem said, we'd be okay. But instead he added. And also, our sages teach us, Chazal teach, the best bracha you can ever give anyone in the whole entire world. What's the best bracha you can ever give anyone in the whole entire world? If I walk around this room right now and ask you, what's the best blessing you can give anyone? You would tell me, be a millionaire. You would tell me, Lord, health, whatever. Everyone have their own answer. Our sages teach us, Birkat Kohanim, the blessing of the Kohanim, is the most amazing, most powerful blessing in the whole entire world. And within it is encompassed everything. And there's no need to add to it, no need to take away from it. Exactly every single word, you have everything you possibly need. Osher, Parnasa, everything you possibly imagine in these words. Right? I one time had a situation where a guy came to me and said, give me a bracha, give me a blessing. So I gave him, I put my hands in him, and he tells me, no, I want a real blessing. Oh, you want a real blessing? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you a real blessing. I told Habib, this is the real blessing. If you want something else, go to the gypsy guy in the corner, he'll give you a real bracha. All the blessings in the world is over there, and therefore we don't add. You have a concept and everything that we don't add. Bal tosif. Now, what does Hashem say to Moshe Rabbeinu? You did exactly what I told you to do. And that's the praise when it comes to Judaism. Hashem expects from us to do exactly what Hashem decreed upon us. Don't add, don't do too much, don't do too little. Do exactly what Hashem tells you to do. And every single one of them you will find is for your benefit. Every single one of them is the best thing for you. We have to feel, we have to understand it. Look at this. I want to continue with you guys a little bit further. Now, we have to see something very beautiful. Nachshon bin Aminadav was the first one. Who was Nachshon bin Aminadav? When we got to the Svi of Reeds, the first person to jump in before the Sli split was Nachshon bin Aminadav from the tribe of Judah. Every day it says Nasi, Nasi, the prince, the prince, the prince, the prince, the chief, the chief, the chief, the chief, the chief, except for one of the days, Nachshon bin Aminadav. The only person that doesn't say the word Nasi, chief, is Nachshon bin Aminadav. So everyone comes and asks. Everybody else gets a title chief. But this guy who gave him a present to be the first one to come inaugurate the Mishkan, to come and do the service in the Mishkan, the first one, you don't give him the respect he deserves. So all the Mfarshim come up and they say, what is going on over here? Ella, they say, Nachshon bin Aminadav, if Hashem would have called him a prince, he would have called him a Nasi, then what would have happened? A chief? They would have said, oh, you know why he jumped into the water? For praise. Oh, he wanted people to give him honor. He wanted people to praise him, to give him all the shebach. So he told Hashem, don't write Nasi when it comes to my name. So that way everyone knows, I'm a simple person. And that's why in this week's Parashat, what does it start? Vayikra. But if you look, it's something very interesting. One of the first times in the Torah that you find a letter that's tinier than everything else. All of a sudden you have Vayikra, and also the Aleph is tiny. What happened over here? Says the Midrash Bereshit Rabbah that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu to write Vayikra with the Aleph, that Hashem called out to him. And Moshe Rabbeinu told him, look Hashem, maybe I won't write Vayikra. You called out to me. It shows how much you love me, how much you appreciate me. Maybe write Vayikar. Like you said with Bilam, like the wicked person. Like coincidence. You just happen to be that I'm nobody special. Hashem says to him, you cannot take away one letter and everyone should know how much I loved you. Therefore write Vayikra, but you can make it small. Where did the remainder of the ink go? Into Moshe Rabbeinu's face. And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu always was radiating. Everywhere he go, people couldn't stare at him. He had to wear a mask. It's actually written in the Torah that Moshe Rabbeinu wore a mask. You want to know where the mask came from? Moshe Rabbeinu. That's what all started. Moshe Rabbeinu had to come down because no one could look at him. All the light that was radiating from the guy. And from what? From the anava, from the simple thing that he said, okay, I'll tell you guys a story that happened in the times of Rav Zusha. Not the band today, Rav Zusha. Rav Zusha was one of the Rabbanim a few hundred years ago. One day he got a bag. He needed to support his family. He got a bag, 500 rubles. It was a nice amount of money, right? 500 rubles. Then he was walking along the way, and he heard a wife crying, please come back. What happened? Their daughter was engaged to somebody to get married. Today was the day of the wedding. They promised him in a dowry, and in a dunya, 500 gold rubles. That way they can start their family. What ended up happening? Somebody stole the money. Somebody stole the money. So the husband, the groom said, look, I cannot marry her if I don't have any money to start their life. I cannot marry her. I'm sorry, I have to call it off. And the daughter was crying, and the mother was crying. Arav Zusha was passing by, he hears this. He walks inside, he said, what's going on over here? They tell him, look, unfortunately, we can't find the money. Now he knows that what does he have in his pocket? 500 ruble, 500 amount, the same exact amount she needed. So he tells her, okay, maybe I found it. Tell me, how exactly was it? How many coins you had? Which currency? You had 100, 200? What exactly did you have? He tells him, look, well, I had 3 bills and 300, I had another 250s, and I had another 5, 10, 20s, and so on and so forth. The guy says, okay, let me go and check. He goes back to the guy giving the money. He tells him, give me exactly this amount. I want 300 and hundreds. I want 50s, 250s. I want 20s. Exactly what you said. And he came back and he tells her, look, I found the money. Wow, so amazing. Baruch Hashem. He takes the money. He comes to the Kalal. Yes, we're going to do a wedding. However, Arav Zusha said something that nobody expected him to say. He tells the mom at that point, look, I found the money. I brought it back to you. I didn't have to. I want 10% on the top. Give me 10% back. Tell him, what? This is what you already went out of your way to do a good deed. Now you're asking for 10% back. What kind of chutzpah are you? What kind of disrespectful person are you? They started yelling at him, screaming at him. They took him to the rabbi of the town. And he's sitting down with the rabbi of the town. The rabbi tells him, what happened over here? What's going on over here? He tells him, look, rabbi, I could have taken the money for myself. I didn't have to give it back to them. Excuse me. I could have taken the money for myself. I want the 10%. The rabbi tells him, you're poshea. You're disgusting, repulsive what you're doing over here. This is what you call yourself a chassid, you call yourself chassidut. This is what you call yourself. I'm going to call you a rabbi. I think it was the Maggid ben Mizrich, his rabbi. He comes to the town. He tells him, one of your talmidim, one of your students over here is doing something that's something that you shouldn't do. That's terrible behavior. The Maggid ben Mizrich comes to the student and he tells him, what's going on over here? Arav Zusha, explain to me. He tells him, when I left the woman and she told me the amount of money, I went to go and exchange the money and I knew that I was giving it to her. And I felt in my heart, the Yetzer Hara was telling me, oh, look at you. Big gadol. You know how much honor you deserve, how much praise. You're so amazing. You're the greatest guy in the world. Look, everyone's going to give you a big show now. In the wedding, they're going to give you everyone's going to praise you all over town. I said, oh yeah, is that what you think? I'll show you. So when I came over there, I made sure that no one would give me any praises. But not only they wouldn't tell me thank you, they would hate me. They would bring me down. So that way my action can be truly l'shem shamayim, only for the sake of God. So that nobody can come and say on me, I did it for honor or anything else. That I know for myself, I did it for Hashem. I know for myself that I did it for Hashem. And this is exactly what Nachshon ben Aminadav says to Hashem. Don't call me Nasi. Don't call me Nasi. Don't call me chief. You know why? Because if people are going to see chief, they're going to think that I wanted some honor. I want everyone to know that when I did what I did it purely for you. When I did what I did it 100% for you, and that no one can come and tell me otherwise. And that's exactly going back on what we said in the past. What the Zohar says, Achmana liba baye. Hashem wants the heart of every single person in the world. Hashem wants your heart. Hashem wants you to give him your heart, but not only just to give him your heart when it's convenient for you. You know, people who like to be nice guys when everyone sees, oh, everyone's looking now. Look, I'm helping her. They turn around. Boy, man. All right, when guests come over, oh, my dear wife, let me help you with the dishes. What do you need? Let me clean? No problem, no problem. No problem. As soon as the guy leaves, get over there, go to the dishes. Maka. I'll tell you guys, the Rama brings down, Halacha, Or Chaim. Taf Kaftet. Siman Taf Kaftet, Sif Aleph over there, he brings down the minhag that we have during the holidays of Pesach to be koneh chitin, to buy wheat kernels, and lechalkan, to give them out to the aniyim. To give them out to poor people so they have what they have for Pesach. To buy wheat and to give it to the aniyim. It's called Kimcha de Pischa. Kimcha de Pischa. Which basically means to give money people what they need so they have food for the table. Now, Mishnat Yavetz, he has a commentary. One of the earlier sages. He says, one of the poskim, he says, we know that the Rama teaches us, Yoreh De'ah, Siman Resh Nun Aleph over there, Sif Gimel, that a person who is an ani is patur min mitzvah. Patur min tzedakah. A person who doesn't have enough money to save himself doesn't have to give tzedakah. He's exempt. And therefore you would think giving money before Pesach, he also will be exempt. However, says the Yahavet, something pele. You read it, you're not going to believe. He says, this person doesn't have enough money to feed himself, has to go take a loan, to make sure he gives money to Kimcha the Pesach. To go other families who can go eat. He says, why? Because the mitzvah of giving money before Pesach to another family is not because of the mitzvah of tzedakah. Ella, he explains Api Rambam, that is the mitzvah of Pesach itself. Why? The Rambam writes, you go open up right now in Chot Yom Tov, you go see over there the Rambam what he writes. He says that a person is obligated to be happy and in good spirits all Pesach. He has to be in good spirits, he has to be happy, good spirits, all Pesach. He has to sit down and eat in his house and drink. However, he's also obligated to give to the ger, yatom, v'almana, to the widow, the orphan, and the convert, and also to anyone in the Jewish nation that needs food. However, he says, if a person locks his doors and doesn't give food to anybody else to eat, and he sits in his house and he eats, he buys himself a steak for Pesach, wow, shtabach shemu la'ad, he's sitting over there with the best wine, meudar, Alexander the Great times 2, Lord there, he's drinking the best wine he can possibly imagine, they go and honor the holiday, spend thousands of dollars, he didn't give $1 to another family to go and eat, and he locked his door that no one else can eat, just him, his wife, and his kids. Says the Rambam, that what he's eating right now is lo sudat mitzvah. It's not a sudah for a mitzvah of a good deed. He says that you're eating for your stomach. Right now, what you're eating for Pesach, if you didn't help anybody else, it's not worth anything. Hashem doesn't want you sitting down eating the sudah right now. Hashem expects every single one of us to go and help other people. Hashem expects from every single one of us to help other people. Why? We said about it in the past. The Mishnah Parkei Avot says, Kal kenesher, ratz ketzvi. What's it, Kal kenesher? Swift like an eagle. Ratz ketzvi is like fast like a deer. What's faster? An eagle or a deer? Imagine right now, I tell you, what's a nice jet? Give me a nice jet number. I'm sure you know, nice jet. It was a, I don't know, Jetstream 7000, like that. And I put your Bugatti Veyron. And I put them on the runway and I tell them race. The Bugatti is keeping up with the plane or no? The guy's flying out over there. The guy's already doing flips, saltot in the shamayim. The jet is already doing all types of 8s and 9s and 15s. And the guy, but he's not going anywhere. The guy's already shoom. Someone told me that the eagle drops down at 150 miles per hour. You ever seen a deer running 150 miles per hour? You're driving in the highway, all of a sudden deer, what's up, buddy? You know, hello, it's the interstate. The deers are flying over there in the Autobahn over there. It's 150 miles per hour. 150 miles per hour. So Hashem tells you have to be fast like an eagle, and then he tells you at the same time you have to be fast as a deer. You should have told, you told me I'm fast as an eagle already, I don't need the deer. Farshim explained, why did he also mention the deer? Because an eagle, what does an eagle do? It flies up high. It's a loner. He's flying in the highs, in the sevens, he's chilling, he's up there. He comes down only to get his food, he goes back up. Ever a deer, when it runs, just pay attention. It turns back to look. Says, when a person sometimes finds himself, he's flying high. He's ready for Pesach, everything is ready. The suit is meudar, custom made, $2,000, fitted by who knows what, all these names now with the suits. He got a custom suit, he got all the bottles of wine, all the meat. He's flying high. Don't forget to look back and make sure everybody's also okay. Don't make sure, you also need, you're good? You got a custom suit? Yes or no? Allah boka, take it to my guy. $1,000? Come. Well, we forgot to turn back. We forgot to turn around and say, wait, is everybody else okay? And Arav Wolbe, he quotes the Manchu, and he says that the Ikar Chesed, what is the Ikar Chesed? The main place a person does Chesed is in his house. We'll see in a minute why. He says a person can be a big Baal Chesed. He can go out and go to every wedding. He goes to every single wedding in the whole entire world. He hears about a wedding, he runs. Every Brit Milah, he runs. Every time it's to go and make other people happy, to go help another person, he runs. But when it comes to his wife, when it comes to his kids, when it comes to his mother, leave me alone. You're crazy. What do you want from me? Jonathan, can you take out the garbage? His friend calls him, do me a favor. I need to go out to Pennsylvania. I'm stuck. Can you give me a ride? Yeah, I got you. Don't worry. I'm going to pick you up right now. I'm told you to take out the garbage, you're yelling and screaming at her. To go to Pennsylvania, the job of your friend, to pick him up. They'll say, yeah, no problem. Oh, you need me to pick you up? I got you. Okay, I'll wait outside. Where are you going to the dentist? I got you. All of a sudden now, oh, my friends, everything is good. When it comes to your own family, Allah, leave me alone, Abba, leave me alone, my wife. One time on Pesach, right before Pesach, the rabbi came into the Bet Midrash, came into the study hall. He saw all the guys sitting down learning. All the married guys sitting down learning. He didn't understand what's going on over there. He's up. Rabotai, Everybody get up now. Right before Pesach, if a mitzvah to be osek b'Pesach, to clean, to this and that. Everyone over here is going now to get a broom, an apron, and a mop, and cleaning supplies, and you're going to go, someone's going to take you, you're going to go help clean. All the guys, the rabbi says, no problem, they call, get up, they get their apron, they get their broom, they get their mop, they get the cleaning supplies, and they start walking, preparing, as the shaliach starts to take them. All of a sudden, they're walking, and they're realizing, wait a minute, this neighborhood looks very familiar. Wait a minute, why is he turning on this corner? I live in this building. All of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. They're knocking on whose door? On his own door. Then he realized. The rabbi was telling him, what are you doing over here? Go home and help your wife. Go home and help your wife. The same way you were so happy to go and do it with the bags and the cleaning supplies to go leave because the rabbi told you to go do it, you shouldn't have even been here in the first place. You should have been at home doing it already. The ikar of the chesed is in the house. Rabotai, I'm telling you guys, Erev Pesach is one of the most hectic days of the year. And the tensions are high. And a person has to be very, very careful because the Yetzer Hara is boiling, is dying to get you into a fight with somebody that night. You know why? Because it's the holiest night of the year, one of the holiest nights of the year. Every time you have a holy night, the Yetzer Hara comes to try and break it. Shabbat. Right before Shabbat, lachat, inyanim, fighting, stressed, hectic. Comes now Pesach, same thing. Why? The Yetzer Hara doesn't want you to take hold of this holy day. He wants you to lose it. So what does he want you to do? Fight. I mentioned this over one of the guys recently in one of the classes. The guy told me, Rabbi, I wish I would have heard this class last year. I said, what happened? He says, last year. I said, I'm sure many of us would have heard this one last year. He went to an event. They asked him to do kiddush on one of the cups. He gets up. There was a woman sitting over there with her baby. The baby was non-stop crying. The guy says, Khalas, I can't make a bracha with this baby crying. He starts yelling and screaming. The woman went crazy. It's my child, it's my son, boom. She went upstairs, she didn't come to quick down the rest of the set. That's it. And the rest of the night everything was ready. That's it. Khalas, everyone knows what's going on over here. The guy says for the next year he's feeling terrible. He's already scared to go into Pesach. I didn't, if I would have known, I would have. Telling you guys, the tension is going to be high. Pesach night, no fight. No fight. The ikar, the most important part of the Pesach Haggadah we're going to do next week is the Haggadah. It's the story of Mitzrayim. It's the Exodus, what happened over there, how we got out, why. We'll see in a moment. I'll maybe tell you guys in the end. Before we're going to get over there, I want to focus on one extra point. But the most important part is the Haggadah. And a person has to know that in these moments, not to fight. Last year, I prepared for 2 weeks. I took Chama Vadia's Sefer as a commentary on the Haggadah. I prepared 2 weeks. I'm over there with a highlighter, with a pencil, preparing it all. I said, I'm coming to the table with 3-4 hours of chomer, with information. I invited people over to my house for the Pesach Seder. I sit down, we get to the part of the Haggadah, and I start. 10 minutes in, I already see the guy in the back. I'm like, okay, Seder, Yazrom ito, kol tov, everything is fine. Then I see the guy sitting next to him. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, I prepared 4 hours of information. I'm only 5 minutes in. I'm looking at the pages. I'm seeing everything is highlighted. I'm like, yo, man, you're simple. I said, okay, I have to make it short. What can I do? I have to make it short. 10 minutes later, the guy's already screaming at me. I'm telling him, leave me alone. This is the Haggadah. That's the most important part. You have to remember the Haggadah is the most important part. This year it's a little bit easier. You're going to come out of Motzei Shabbat. You may not going to be so hungry. Usually coming into Pesach, the day is so hectic. You want to get a haircut because Sfirat HaOmer, you're not going to be able to look like a wildebeest for 40 days. You want to get a haircut. You want to do this. You want to do that. You come into Pesach. You're ready. So hungry. And by the time you get home from shul, it's 8:30. Till you start everything, it's 9. Till you eat, it's 11:30 at night. After they stuffed you with 2 matzot, 14 cups of wine, you're already sitting over there seeing stars. Now come eat a little bit of roast beef. I said, roast beef. Can we finish this thing already? Well, you have to always remember. Last year we finished, I said at 2 o'clock in the morning. I came to shul in the morning. The rabbi told me he finished at 4. I felt bad I didn't go to 4. It's the most important night of the year. Leil Shmurim, it's the most important night of the year. It's the night when you can bring so much sanctity and kedusha down to yourself. People are trying to run away from it. You should understand the Haggadah. For almost 3,000 years, Vayikra bincha, it's when the Torah itself tells us you have to tell the story over. You have to tell the story over. Why? The whole story of Pesach is emunah. The whole story of Pesach is emunah. The fact that you have people today, 18, 19, 20 years old, they don't even know the simple basics of emunah, of faith, of trust. You know why? Because somewhere along the way we messed up. You know what? Who's the most important person at the table? When you're sitting down, who's the most important person at the table? It's not your mom. It's not your dad. It's not you. It's your son. It's your daughter. It's the little kids over there. It's passing over to the next generation. And if we didn't do a good job doing that, then what did we do? How do we have kids today that don't have the simple concept of emunah, of faith and trust in God? You look at the whole story of Egypt, what happens? 210 years, they're enslaved in a place. Moshe Rabbeinu says, Yalla, let's go and we're out. Come on, everybody, let's go. Quickly, quickly, quickly. You don't have time for the dough to rise. Now you're going to suffer for 3,000 years with these matzot. Quickly, quickly, quickly. The woman had time to take tupim and drums and all types of things that I don't have time to. You have to suffer every year with this flat bread. Allah, give me a few minutes. If I went over there, I would have made a ruckus. No. Obviously not. And they go and they run out. As soon as they leave, Hashem tells them, okay, not turn back around. Not turn back around. What happened over you? Serious? Turn back around. Let's turn back around. Turn back around. Everyone's sitting over there. What's going on over here? And that's the chidush. It's easy to have faith in Hashem when everything is good. And you know what? This may be a little bit controversial. It's also easy to have faith in Hashem when everything is bad. You know why? Because you don't have a choice. Where else are you going to go? I don't have anywhere else to go. Okay, might as well come to you, Hashem. You know what I'm saying? Okay, guys pointing a gun to your head. Look, I can't do nothing now. Never learn Kung Fu. All these things you see, you guys try. The guy's like, come on, you know. He tries to do something with the gun. The guy's still holding the gun. Come on, what do you watch too many movies? Boom. Move back. At this point, he has no one to hold their faith in. And now what is he going to do? I said, listen, big man upstairs. Oh, it's easy to have faith when you have no. Where is the biggest test of emunah and faith? In the interim, in the middle, in the safek, in the doubt. I left now Egypt 210 years now, all of a sudden turn around. What's going on over here? And I'm telling you guys, in your life, you will see, if you look at the whole story of Egypt, Exodus, it looks like a bunch of random things, random occurrences. But in the end, Hashem beautifully ties everything together and you say, wow, now I realize this, now I realize that, now I realize this. Look how everything beautifully played itself out. What a beautiful story. We have to see the end when the ribbon ties to know really what the present is, what the package is. The guy goes, he meets some guy randomly went to a restaurant. Oh, happened to be friends of a friend, met a guy. 3 years later, they meet up again. Oh, he's doing vapes. Go partners, become millionaires. Oh, yeah, no, I never thought that would be. There's no random occurrences. There's no mikre. Everything Hashem does, He does for a reason. And He puts everything in your life. And even sometimes it seems random and sometimes it seems confusing. That's the test in emunah. When things don't make sense, Hashem says, now I want to see if you believe in me. Now I want to see if you believe in me. And that's the emunah we need to instill. That's what we need to learn from Pesach. I'll tell you guys a story I heard. I had a beautiful story. One kid, I'm sure a few of us know a kid like this, in yeshiva when he was younger, big troublemaker. You know big troublemaker? Every person he met, he got them in trouble. Every day kicked out of school. Every day in the principal's office, detention. Everybody knows at least one of them, if you're not one of them yourself. Every day you were in trouble. Another guy comes, sitting down over there every day in the principal's office. One school they kicked him out of. Another school they kicked him out of. Another school they kicked him out of. Until the kid's like, Halas, no, where am I going to go now? The principal calls the parents and says, look, I'm sorry, your son is a peri adam. The guy's not even a human being, he's an animal. I'm sorry. We have to send him to psychiatrist. They have to give him an evaluation. The parents send the kid to psychiatrist for evaluation. He goes for a test. The guy's sitting down with him. Okay. 2 weeks, I'm going to send you a letter in the mail. We didn't even have a conversation. We didn't say one word. Don't worry. In 5 minutes, you already understood the kids are Majnun. Send them back home. Now they're waiting for the letter. The parent says, no, what's the result? What's the results? The kid says, we're going to get in the mail in 2 weeks. On the same day, the kid goes to the psychiatrist. His father gets fired from his job. I'm sorry if I let you go. Comes home, family, kids, house, rent. What are we going to do? He had a very wealthy friend in Chicago. The guy calls him. He's in New York. This guy's in Chicago. The guy calls him from Chicago and says, listen, come work by me. I'm going to pay you very generously. Come move your whole family. 2 days later, everything was packed up. Shoo, they were in Chicago. Good? In the move, in the lachatz, they forgot about the letter from the guy. The kid tells himself, you know, new start, new place, nobody knows me, fresh beginning. Let me try. He starts to try in school and get better and get better and get better and get better. Ultimately, what ends up happening is the guy, the very wealthy guy, when he passed away, he didn't have any children, so who did he give this business to? The father. So the father inherited this multi-million-dollar business. When the father passed away, who inherited the business? The son. The son at this point was 63 years old. On his 63rd birthday, he threw a big party, and in honor of his birthday, he did Suyim Shas. He learned the whole entire Shas. He learned the whole entire Gemara. Alvai will get there when we're 63. This troublemaker, 63, got the whole entire Shas. He invites all of his family, Lakewood, Muncie, everybody all over the world. They come to this guy's house in Chicago, and everyone tells him, look, you're extremely, extremely wealthy. We don't know what gift to get you. The guy tells him, look, I only want one gift for my birthday this year. I want you to find the letter from the psychiatrist and tell me what he wrote about me. The kids are like, okay. The guy died 50 years ago. Where are we going to find this letter? Are you serious now? This is what I want. So the kids went to go crazy, madman, calling everyone, every lawyer, every doctor's office, everything about to imagine. After months of trying, Yeshua. The day of his birthday, they got the letter. They didn't open it in the envelope, shipped over. He says, Saba, we got the gift for you. He comes, he opens it, he says, everyone gather around. I want to just tell you guys, 50 years ago, they sent me to a psychiatrist. I don't know what he wrote about me. We're going to find out right now what he wrote about me. But I want you guys to see who I am today, and let's read the letter together. Opens the letter, takes out from inside. The kid is an animal. Needs to be locked up alone, stored away from civilization. He'll ruin anyone he meets in his life. My best advice for you is to lock him up in his room or in the basement. And that's what he wrote over there. The guy says to his family, I just want to show you guys this. Just know, first things first, just because someone tells you something about yourself doesn't mean it's true. You can go very far if you apply yourself. And don't believe what people say about you. It's our job to always give compliments, but if you didn't get a compliment, don't believe other people. You can be just as great as you want to be. Just as great as you want to be. But the Musaf from this story is even greater. 10-year-old boy, the father, saying, I have to relocate now, move my whole entire life, move to Chicago. Everything seems so random. I met this guy, boom, boom, boom. And in the end, you see what came out of it. Got a job. His father got a job. He inherited the business, multimillionaire, learned Shas, became very wealthy. And imagine what would have happened if Hashem didn't cause on that day that his father got fired from his job. 2 days later, a week later, they would have got the letter in the mail. The kid would have saw it. That would have been the end of it. That would have been the end of his life. But Hashem exactly gave it to him. Boom. Go now, quickly. So that way you're never going to see this letter, because if you're going to see this letter, you're never going to be who come you need to be. Hashem, when He does stuff to us in our life, He knows exactly what He's doing, and everything is so calculated. To the minute, to the dot, to the T. We have to know, we have to understand this. That Hashem doesn't do anything random. If Hashem put your situation in your life, whether it seems good, whether it seems bad, if it seems bad, just know that the only reason Hashem put you over here is because Hashem knew this is exactly how far He had to push you to get you where you need to go. It's exactly how far He had to push you to get you to make the move you need to make. We're so comfortable, we don't want to move out of our comfort zone. Hashem says, I have to make you uncomfortable to force you to. But that uncomfortability is the best thing. We don't know what's good for us. We think we know what's good for us. A kid comes to his father, Abba, please give me candy. I love candy. Please, Abba, give me candy. Father says, okay, one sugar. Now, candy is like pizza. You can never eat just one slice. Yeah? A guy came to me today, my problem is, Rabbi. I said, what? He said, I eat pizza, I only eat 4 slices. I told him, what my problem is? I eat pizza, I eat only 12. That's why I don't eat pizza. I know my problem. I don't eat pizza. Stay away from it. Especially pizza time at Avenue J. Forget about it. Yeah? Kid comes to you, Abba, give me candy. Now, what does the kid think? What does the father think in his head? Okay, maybe another one. Take another one. But that's it. Khalas, no more. Now the kid starts crying, kicking and fussing and hitting. What's easier for the Abba to do? To give the kid the candy. Khalas, leave me alone. You take a lollipop. Go up to your room. Bye. Why is the father's telling him, no candy. Now he's fighting with him. Go on, time out. You're not going to. They're fighting now back and forth. The 3-year-old and the father. He's fighting with him. Why? Because the father knows the temporary pain the kid feels now by not getting the candy is way less than the pain he will feel later on with the cavity that's going to cause him, or root canal or cavity infection. You never know. So what does the father say? Because I love you, I'm not going to give it. Because I love you, I'm not going to give it to you. And so too in our life. Hashem says, I know that if I don't give him this uncomfortability right now, if I don't give him this little bit of, then tomorrow it's going to be 10 times worse. So therefore I have to put him over here now That way he leaves, he goes, he moves, he does whatever he needs to do to save him. That's the Musar of the Haggadah. One of them. We'll see next week another Musar of Pesach. But that's the one thing you have to learn coming out of Pesach, coming out of the Haggadah, that Hashem puts us on uncertainty, puts us on uncomfortable places, puts us in situations that we're not ready. What's going on over here? But nothing in Hashem's world is random. And everything Hashem does with you is for a reason. And even though sometimes you might feel uncomfortable, just know Hashem put you over here because He wanted to put you in the right direction. He wanted to push you in the right direction. Of course, we have a little bit more prepared, but we'll end it over here for the sake of time. Jazakallah.